The idea that you would do something as impractical as be an artist was considered insane. I came from a family where you gave up everything, and the idea of my parents was we didn't give up all that stuff so one of you guys could want to be an artist. We were all supposed to go to college and study eminently practical things. We were supposed to be doctors and engineers. If things got real ugly, lawyers, you know. I was always pulled to the arts. The arts was the thing that I wanted to do, no matter how impractical and how impoverished it would make me. It was the only thing I had a passion for. The safest thing that you can do with your life is live someone else's dream. It's the easiest thing you can do, but it's the most terrible way to waste your life. And yet so many people I know of my age are still doing it. To receive a paper that says you graduated from the school is to be accredited. To be educated means that you are fundamentally transformed, that the person who walked into this place would be unrecognizable to the person who leaves this place. And I actually spent my 4 years of college doing this. Anyone who boxes knows, just doing this. I spent my 4 years keeping my guard up. To be educated means that you've got to open yourself up to new ideas, that you've got to open yourself up to new ways of doing things, and that you've got to open yourself up to new people. Most of us, when we're scared, the thing that we do least is open ourselves up to new things. And I can promise you, I went through all 4 years getting pretty good grades and received nothing close to an education. I graduated pretty much the same person who went in as it came out. College for 4 years is the one place, it's one of the only institutions we have that invites you to be exposed to new ideas, to be exposed to new people, and through those ideas and through those new people, to be transformed utterly. That is education. That is what your role here is supposed to be. And if it hadn't been that I went to graduate school, if I hadn't got a chance to go to a school, a second chance to actually try again, at Cornell, where I went to graduate school, I did pretty much what I probably should have done at the beginning, which was I began to drop my guard. You are doing yourself a tremendous disservice if you don't receive an education while you're here. You discover other people around you who are coming to school and they're putting their entire hearts on the line. And you can't help but, if you're sitting next to these people, to think, man, that's what I want. I want to be in college and I want to be changed. This is what happens. You're around people that are doing that, and a part of you wants it for yourself. When you love something as much as I love literature, I was about the most average kid ever, but I really loved writing and I loved reading. If you love something enough, and I mean really love it, it will take you so goddamn far. Loving something is far better than being awesome at it. I wrote because I loved this field so much. You do not starve to be an artist because you're looking for approval. You're an artist because you love deeply your form. I learned over these last 20 years as a writer that writing is very difficult for me, but I'm actually very good at it. And I had to learn to be patient with myself. Most of us think if we're good at something, that means it comes easy. It's not always the case. And it's amazing how many people quit. It's okay, a book can take 11 years. This book took me 11 years. It just happened to be an incredibly difficult book. I think that one must understand a lot of times you will design a project for yourself more difficult and more challenging than you're prepared to actually execute. What I needed to do to write Oscar Wilde was that I needed to become more human. It's sort of strange, but to write Oscar Wilde, I had to get a bigger heart. I couldn't have written it as a young man because in my 30s, I began to understand how challenging life can be. It isn't always challenging, but I guess I wanted to take that point of view. I didn't think that the book was so depressing as I thought it was realistic to how difficult life can get. The hardest thing in the world is that being young is really poor preparation for being old. I think that I wrote Oscar in many ways as a tribute to all the kids who I watched suffering terribly, the kind of suffering that I knew would be mine. And all of us know that we're humans and we can't help it. We enjoy ostracizing people. It seems to give our lives purposes, but it is a tremendously painful, terrible things to the victims. When I think of America, America sounds like Oscar Wilde, with all these languages at once. And part of what my dream was is that a reader, when they encountered words or phrases or terms that they did not know, that it wasn't there to sort of make anybody feel bad or make anybody feel stupid or feel like someone was talking behind their back. It was meant that you would find a word that you did not know, and therefore you would have to reach out to someone else, and you would have to ask someone, what does this mean? A novel is a complex entity. Novels are read by individuals. You read these books by yourself, but you can only approach understanding of a novel in a community. And I've seen you guys, you're all young and cute. In a way, you guys are the winners of the world. When it comes to education, you're basically in the top 2% of the planet. They make you forget that because they have school rankings in the United States where it's like, oh, this is school 30th or school 40th. But when you look at the planet, you're basically the top 2% education-wise. You are a super elite. No matter how you slice it, you are the winners, the winners, the winners. But I know as an artist that there are more losers than winners. That this is a society that organizes the planet to give some people much and most people nothing. And I would love for every Oscar in the world to be loved, but I know that our society, the way we organized it, would not permit such a thing. But again, Santo Domingo defined me as much as New Jersey defined me. Living in Villa Juana, where I grew up, living in another country, living in another world. For those of you who are like me, you spend most of your life with two worlds in your head, and you don't choose. It's not one world or the other. It's not the Ukraine or the United States. It's not Jamaica or the United States. It's not anything like that.